Today we are doing the much requested tutorial for the DIY stroller tote. This bag is beginner friendly. It has little straps that connect with buttons, as well as a little drawstring to keep all of your belongings inside the bag. I also quilted this bag, which is totally optional, but I will show you the process of making this entire bag from scratch. So here's what you will need. You'll need about 1 yard of cotton fabric for the outside of the bag, 3/4 of a yard of cotton fabric for the lining of the bag. You'll need about 3/4 of a yard of batting if you want to quilt your bag, or interfacing just to give it a little bit of structure. You'll need a buttonhole foot, which comes with most sewing machines. You'll need 2 buttons, a piece of thin drawstring, and then some of your regular sewing supplies like a ruler, tape measure, and an erasable fabric pen. Okay, let's get right into it. We are going to start by cutting our pieces. For the main bag piece, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 11 inches by 13 inches. And then for the lining of the bag, you'll cut 2 pieces that are 11 inches by 13 inches. For the straps, you'll need 2 pieces that are 5 inches by 13.5 inches. Also, I am 9 months pregnant in this video, so there are just a lot of belly shots in this video. I am so sorry about that. And for the ruffle, you'll need 1 piece that's 9 inches by 42 inches. And I have my fabric folded in half, so then when I unfold it, I have a really long 42-inch ruffle piece. For the drawstring casing, you'll cut 2 pieces 6.5 by 13 inches. And if you are also quilting your bag, you're going to need some batting. This is cotton batting that I'm using. You'll cut 2 pieces that are 11 inches by 13 inches for the main bag piece. And then you'll cut 2 pieces for the straps, 5 inches by 13.5 inches. If you are also quilting your bag, go ahead and follow along with these next few steps. I'll place one of my main bag batting pieces down and one of the main bag outer fabric pieces, not the lining, down. Now I'm using an erasable fabric pen and a ruler, and I'm drawing vertical lines that are 1 inch apart. I'll put some pins in just to hold it in place. And this is optional, but this foot is really great for quilting, and it does come with most sewing machines, and it's the walking foot. If you don't have this foot, go ahead and use the regular presser foot, but this foot makes sewing through multiple layers of fabric so much easier. And now I'll just sew over those lines that I drew, and I am not backstitching at the beginning or the end. I'll do this process for the 2 outer main bag pieces and the 2 straps. And for the straps, I sewed lines about 1/2 inch apart instead of 1 inch. And this is the beauty of the heat erasable fabric pen. You just run across it with your iron and all of those lines disappear. Here's what the strap pieces looked like with the little 1/2 inch wide lines. And we are done quilting. Now it's time to assemble the bag. So starting with the straps, we are going to fold them right sides together, hot dog style, and give them a press. And we're going to sew down one short end and down the other long end. We are sewing this at 1/2 inch seam allowance. We'll start with a back stitch. And you know the drill, when you're sewing around a corner, you just lower the needle into the fabric, raise the presser foot, pivot the fabric, and keep sewing. And we'll end with a back stitch. And do that for both strap pieces. And now I like to trim my seam allowance in half, especially at that little corner right there. It really helps to remove some of that bulky fabric. And we're just going to flip this right side out, which can be a little tricky. So if you need to grab a sharp object, go ahead and do that. And pop your corners out nice and neat. And give it a press. We'll do that for both straps. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can top stitch along the long edges and one of the short edge just to make everything nice and neat. Now for the main bag piece, make sure it's oriented long ways, like a hamburger instead of a hot dog. So your little quilted lines should be going vertically. And now at the 2 bottom corners, we are going to cut little boxes. And just bear with me for a second. I started by drawing a little 1 inch box at the bottom left and bottom right corner. And then I cut those boxes out. And I did that for both main bag pieces. Once that was done, I put those 2 main bag pieces right sides together. And that was about the time I realized that 1 inch boxes were not sufficient. So I went ahead and cut about 1/2 inch more. So save yourself that time and just cut 1.5 inch boxes at the bottom left and the bottom right. Once that's done, we're going to pin and sew along the 2 sides and the bottom. Again, we're sewing this at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Go ahead and start and end with a back stitch. So that's me sewing one of the sides and then also the bottom and the left edge as well. And we are going to do the same exact thing for the bag lining pieces. And then we're going to sew along the sides and the bottom. And this was my other little mistake that I made in this video. So this is a subtle foreshadowing. I forgot to leave a little gap in the lining. This is a very important step because this allows us to flip the bag right side out at the very end of the project. So this is me unpicking a little opening at the bottom of the bag. So rewinding back after you cut your little boxes, don't forget to leave about a 2 to 3 inch opening at the bottom of the bag. Again, we're sewing this at 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm sewing down one side of the bag and then I'm sewing the bottom, and that is where you should leave that opening. So don't forget the opening. Now again, to remove some of the bulky fabric, I'm just trimming the seam allowance in half on the sides and the bottom. And now we're going to box the corners to make this bag 3-dimensional. So grab onto those little boxes that you cut, and you're going to kind of fold it to where you have a diagonal edge and put some pins there. Do the same thing for the other box, and we're just going to sew those little diagonal edges. We're sewing this at 1/2 inch seam allowance, starting and ending with a back stitch. And we'll do the same exact thing for the lining, cutting away some of the seam allowance, and then boxing those corners and sewing both of those bottom edges. And now you know the drill. We're going to trim that seam allowance in half, do the same thing for the lining. And now we are moving on to the ruffle piece. So you should have one really, really long 42-inch piece. We're going to fold it hamburger style, and we're going to pin it along that short edge, and we'll sew it at 1/2 inch seam allowance, starting and ending with a back stitch. Now go ahead and press that seam nice and flat. And now we're going to fold the ruffle hot dog style, wrong sides together, and go ahead and press it in the middle. We'll do this all around. And now we're going to sew this raw edge with a long basting stitch so that we can gather the fabric into a ruffle. Let me show you my favorite way to do this. We're using a straight stitch. Move your length as long as it will go, and move your tension as tight as it will go. Now we'll bring the fabric under the presser foot and lower it. And now as we sew, we're going to actually hold on to the thread here at the top, right where it comes off the spool. Make sure not to backstitch at the start and end. And we're just going to start sewing while holding onto that thread tightly. And what this does is it puts extra tension on the thread, and it automatically starts sewing a ruffle as you go. And make sure to leave a long thread tail at the beginning and the end. The long thread tail is so important, so don't forget that step. This is how, in just a minute, we're going to perfectly adjust this ruffle to fit around our bag. So flip your main bag piece right side out. Let's just admire this 3-dimensional bag. And take your ruffle piece. There should be a little seam here where we sewed it earlier. So you can go ahead and match that seam up with the side seam of your bag and put a little pin there, and we're going to pin it all around. Now this is where that thread tail is going to come in handy. You can pull it and gather the fabric more or let some of the fabric out so that your ruffle fits perfectly around the circumference of your bag. So I had to gather mine a little bit to fit around the bag, so that's what I'm doing here, and just keep pinning all around. And now we're going to sew that pinned edge, and we're going to sew this at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Go ahead and start and end with a back stitch, and we'll sew it all around. Once that's done, we're going to make a mark where we're going to place the straps. So I'm measuring in from the side seam about 1 inch, and I'm going to make a mark there. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now take that raw edge of your strap, and if you want to get technical, I always like to put the side seam facing towards the outside of the bag. So face it however you want and place it down onto your marked point. We'll do the same thing for the other side, again making sure that side seam is facing outward. And before you sew this, it might help to put it on your specific stroller to make sure you like the width of the straps. I'm making sure there's enough width between the straps to where I can still fit things, and that the straps kind of look normal and don't want to fall off the stroller. So for my stroller, I decided to bring the straps in about 1/2 inch more, and that's where I'm sewing my straps, starting and ending with a back stitch a few times to make it extra secure. Okay, now we're moving on to the drawstring casing piece. We are going to put these pieces right sides together and pin and sew along the 2 short edges. We're sewing this at 1/2 inch seam allowance, starting and ending with a back stitch. And right now it's inside out, so I'm going to flip it right side out. and I'm trying to find the halfway point. So for mine, it was about 6 inches. So I'm going to mark that halfway point. And then I'm going to measure down from the halfway point about 2¼ inches. And I'm making a dot there. Now on each side of that dot, I'm going to draw a little line. This is hard to see, but I'm drawing 2 lines about 1/2 inch long. I'm getting my ruler to make sure I'm drawing them exactly 1/2 inch long. This is where we're going to sew 2 little buttonholes for the drawstring to feed through. So take your buttonhole foot and open it up by 1/2 inch. You could also put a 1/2 inch button in there just to get the size right, but I'm just using my ruler and making sure it's open by 1/2 inch. Go ahead and pop your buttonhole foot on your machine. Make sure to pull that buttonhole lever down and push it in. For every buttonhole, you have to remember to push that lever in. We're going to switch to a buttonhole stitch. For the length, I always like to go as close to 0 as possible. For the width, I'm doing about a 3. And tension somewhere in the middle should be fine for cotton. I'll start with one of the buttonholes and I'm going to bring the bottom of that line that I drew under the buttonhole foot, lower the presser foot, and we're just going to start sewing our little buttonhole. Once you're done, trim the threads, and it looks something like this. Remember to push that buttonhole lever in, and we'll do the same thing for the other buttonhole. Now this is my favorite way to open a buttonhole. I'm going to take a pin and put it right below the top edge of the buttonhole, if that makes sense. This is going to be a little stopping point for while we're opening the buttonhole. Now take a seam ripper and I'm going to seam rip right inside the buttonhole starting at the bottom edge. And when I seam rip up, the pin should act as a stopping point and you won't cut through your threads. We'll do the same thing for the other buttonhole. And I always like to clean up my threads a little bit and these look pretty good. This is me trying to get rid of this fabric pen with water, which just made a huge mess. Okay, so we're going to lay this casing piece out. Right now it's right side out, so I'm going to flip it wrong side out. So you should see raw edges on the left and the right sides. Make sure that the buttonholes are facing towards the top edge. And at that edge, we're going to fold the raw edge in by about 1/2 inch. Give it a press. We'll do that all around. And then we're going to fold it up again by about 1/2 inch, maybe a little more than 1/2 inch. And we're going to sew this all around. And this is going to be a little casing for our drawstring. So you want to make sure you're using a drawstring that will fit inside this little casing. And we're going to sew really close to that inner folded edge. But the most important thing is that you want to make sure you're not sewing through your buttonholes that you made, but that you're also catching that folded edge. So I'm positioning my needle really close to that folded edge and I'm sewing it on the right side of the fabric so I can see my buttonholes and I can make sure that I'm not sewing through my buttonholes. And I'm just going to sew it all around, starting and ending with a back stitch. Okay, now we are going to connect all of our bag pieces. So I have my bag right side out with the straps facing down. And now I'm going to take that casing piece that we just sewed. And right now it's right side facing out. So I'm going to flip it so it's wrong side facing out. So my little buttonholes are facing down towards the bottom of the bag. I'm trying to show this with hand motions. And now we'll put the main bag piece inside of the drawstring casing. So we want these to be right sides facing together. And we're going to make sure those little side seams are matched up perfectly. So match those up and put a pin there. And then we'll pin it all around. And now we're just going to sew all around the bag, connecting these two pieces. Whenever we sew something a little bit narrow, it does help to take off that little piece of your sewing machine if you can. And again, just make sure those straps are facing down and out of the way, and make sure your buttonholes are facing down towards the bottom of the bag. We're going to sew this at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, starting and ending with a back stitch, and we'll sew it all around. Okay, now that the bag is still right side facing out, we're going to take the lining piece, and this is wrong side facing out. That's what I'm showing you with the hand motions. So we're going to put the main bag piece inside the lining piece. So the right side of the main bag should be facing the right side of the lining. Again, make sure those side seams are matched up and put a pin there. Do the same thing for the other side seam, and then we'll pin it all around. And now we're going to sew this all around, this time at 1/2 inch seam allowance, starting and ending with a back stitch. And as I'm sewing, I'm just using my fingers to feel that the straps are totally out of the way because we don't want to get those caught up all wonky in this seam. Now, if you want, you can trim this seam allowance in half just to get rid of some of the bulky fabric. Just make sure to not cut your bag when you do this. And now, using that opening that we were smart enough to leave earlier, we're going to flip the whole bag right side out. And then you're just going to tuck that lining inside the bag. And now our whole bag is assembled. And now this is optional, but I think it really helps make everything really nice and neat. So really important to make sure the strap and the ruffle are facing up and away from the lining. And we're just going to sew a seam all around the lining. This is going to kind of tack the lining down to the bag and make everything sit really nice and flat. So I'm just positioning my needle about 1/2 inch in, and we're just going to sew all around, starting and ending with a back stitch. And as I'm sewing, I'm just kind of pulling taut on the ruffle and the strap, making sure the ruffle and the strap are totally out of the way, and pulling it taut just gives us a really nice, neat, crisp edge. So we're going to sew that all around. Once that's done, we can go ahead and close up the little opening in the lining. So I'm just pinching it closed so it looks nice and neat, and I'm putting some pins there. And then I'll just sew it really close to the edge, starting and ending with a back stitch. Now let's measure for our drawstring piece. So if you made your bag to the exact measurements as mine, you can just use these measurements. We want to find the circumference of that drawstring casing piece. So mine was about 24 inches around. And then I'm going to add about 6 inches for extra room. And then I'm going to add another 3 inches for room to tie little knots. So if you're using my measurements, you can go ahead and cut your drawstring 33 inches. And this is just the tool of choice that I'm using, but you can also use a safety pin. We just need to feed this drawstring through our little casing piece. So this is a little tool I got on Amazon. I'm not even confident that I'm using it right, but it's one of the best ways I found to feed something through a little opening. So I'm just feeding it all around. And when I get to the end, I'm going to pull the drawstring through and tie a little knot on each end. And our drawstring is done. Now, one of the last things we have to do is attach the buttons. So first I'm going to mark where I'm going to place the buttons. I am making a mark 1 inch in on the end of each strap. And then I'm marking however big my button is. I like to mark the start and the end of the button. And then I'll take a ruler and draw a straight line connecting those points. So you should have some marks that look something like this for your specific buttons. And now we'll take our buttonhole foot and pop our button into it. Again, almost the same settings as before. The width, I'm going to make it a little bit wider, closer to a 4. You know the drill, we're going to do buttonholes just like we did before. And to open it, we're just going to place a pin there, take our seam ripper, and open the buttonhole. Now that our buttonholes are made, we can go ahead and sew our buttons on. So I'm just folding the straps down how it would be on the stroller, and I'm just going to make a mark where I need to put those buttons. And now I'll take a pen and just mark exactly where those buttons need to go. I'm sewing mine about 1/2 inch down from that top edge. And when we sew this button on, again, we don't want the ruffle to be caught up in it. So I'm going to pull the ruffle up and away from the bag and now pop the button on. So we only want to sew the button to the bag pieces, not the ruffle. And we'll go ahead and sew our buttons on. And now our stroller tote is completely done. This is such a fun project. If you have a baby, you're expecting a baby, or you know someone with a baby, this is also a really good gift, something you can personalize for someone. And I love how the quilting turned out. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment if you plan on making a tote bag like this. See you next time.